Alrighty, let's see what we got. Simple bank system is a medium. You've been tasked with writing a program for a popular bank that will automate all its incoming transactions, which are going to be transfer, deposit, and withdraw. The bank has n accounts numbered from 1 to n. The initial balance of each account is stored in a zero-index integer array balance with I plus 1 ith account. Yeah, okay. Execute all valid transactions. A transaction is valid if the given account numbers are between 1 and n, and the amount of money withdrawn or transferred from is less than or equal to the balance of the amount. Okay, sure. Implement the bank class. Initializes the object with balance array. Transfer. Transfers the money. Returns true if successful, false otherwise. Deposit. Withdraw. What is, how's this? Am I missing something? What is the difficulty of this problem? Okay. I must be missing something because this seems straightforward and okay. Anyways, self. I'm going to use balances. Is going to be just a copy of balance. Okay. Deposit into the account. Return. Why would deposit be unsuccessful? Return true if successful, false otherwise. How can deposit be unsuccessful? The amount of money withdrawn or transferred from is less than or equal to the balance of the account. Let's see, deposit, 1, 2, fourth one, 1, 2, okay, deposit. Bank deposit 520. Deposit has account and then the amount of money. So account 5 has $30. I don't understand why it would be ever false. Okay, I'm gonna do deposit first. It'd be like oh, maybe it's an improper account number. Okay, yeah, improper account number. If account is less than 1 is equal to 0 or account, actually, I think I can actually do this. No, account greater than n. I guess this can be fixed, huh? I guess I'll just do count. Okay. I could also just use length of self.balances, but I think that's too wordy. I guess it's greater than or equal to. No, it has to be equal to n. Yeah, it can be equal to n. Okay, then I do self.balances at account minus 1 plus equals the money amount. I guess here I can do, I guess maybe I'll just do not. If not between 0 and account 1 and account 1 being between this one, maybe logically it's just better to look at this. I don't know if the syntaxing for compound equality works with not. It's less than self.count or not 1 less than equal to count 2 less than equal to self.count. Return false. So if they're not in the invalid account numbers, then it's not going to be possible. Otherwise, it's going to be if self.balances of account 1 minus transfer money from account 1 to account 2. So account 1 needs to have this much money. If this thing is less than the money amount, otherwise self.balances account 1 is decremented by the money, and self-balances account 2 increments by the money, or increased by money. Draw, same deal here. If not, 1 less than equal to count, less than equal to the amount of accounts, return false. Self.balances account minus 1 decremented by the money. Guess I can just make this more consistent here. Less than equal to account, less than equal to money, self.count. Okay. Oh, whoops, I need to return true. Oh, whoops, I need to, this is wrong. I need to check that this has enough money to withdraw. If this thing is not a valid thing, or self.balances at account minus 1 is less than money. Oh. What? Alright, come on. What is going on here? How can you... What is this distribution of things? I'm just surprised by it being... there being that many ways to be slower or faster than this. This seems pretty... like just I'm not sure where the other ways of implementing this thing would be. Your test. You have I mean, I guess you could just use balances is equal to this and not make a new array. Just store the reference to the other array. That'll save some space, although really I think that's probably pretty bad though. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make sense to do that because it's not really safe. That's really, that's like really unsafe to just have memory kind of attached in that way. Unless they explicitly state that you can just keep a reference to the array and use it as your memory, your storage memory. Okay, well, I guess that's one thing that was slowing it down. Do 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 do. What else could slow it down? I mean, I guess maybe if you do the check here, these checks are kind of maybe slow. I guess you could do like a try and then return false if it fails because it goes out of it references out of memory, out of range, out of bound for the array, maybe. Forget how to do that. Try block. Try. Best practices. Avoid. That might potentially cause an exception. I'm not sure what the best practice is for using try blocks. Best practice for using try blocks in Python instead of if statements. Use try except for handling exceptional unpredictable errors. Use if-else for handling expected predictable conditions. Yeah, okay. Could in theory use try blocks to not have to do condition check here. But probably not a good idea as a best practice. Guess maybe I guess use or here instead of a not. I wonder if this is actually more complicated. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, let me see if this does anything. If count 1 is less than 1 or count 1 is greater than self.count or count 2 is less than 1 or count 2 is greater than self.count. Whoops. That's going to give me a error here. Okay, and then I'll do the same thing here. If a count is less than 1 or count is greater than self.count. If a count is less than 1 or count is greater than self.count or self.bounces at a count minus 1 is less than money. Wonder if there's an actual speed difference here. Oh boy, got so much worse. Okay, fine. Fine. Wonder how you further improve. This is a good to test it anyways. Oops, wrong one. Alright. Just a random variation in terms of how fast it goes. I don't think I'm gonna bother trying to figure out how to make this faster than the random, what was it, 23%, whatever that is. Okay. Kind of stumped as to how you would actually make this better. I mean, maybe not really. I'm actually kind of curious. How do you determine if the transaction failed? Is that really what's the thing? Like just having a check for the N? Or having a check if there's enough money in the account? Simplify the operations with. Wow. I don't understand why is this a medium? I mean, it's a medium because it's dealing with objects and that's strictly more complicated than just dealing with variables, but I don't know, man. Generally there's some wrinkle here that is just not. This is just like a starter, first time dealing with classes and objects or something. Defining functions. Summary. Not much kind of complexity to this from more like a straightforward implementation of a defined class and make sure to have appropriate checks for correct or valid account numbers and balance requirements before performing any operations on those accounts. Return appropriately, even though it's of questionable design, can store the balance array given to the constructor as the balance field. Slower, but probably more correct to create a copy of that array. Okay, yeah, this thing is questionable. There's no rule way to make this into one statement of removing money and then increasing money, I don't think. Guess you could make this into one longer if statement with another or, self balances, account -1, less than money. Whatever. Time complexity, this can be O of 1 for all operations. Everything has simple checks and computations. Yeah, basic complexity. This can be O of 1. since array field is using a reference to the parameter, to the array parameter. If it didn't, then O of n to create a copy of the balance